Hi, I'm Dana, and I wanted to talk about some of my favourite autistic YouTubers today, because I think most of us that are looking for autistic YouTubers are autistic people that are looking for some sort of relatability, for the most part. I know obviously there's like neurotypical people that are like just looking for education, and people of other neurodivergencies that can also relate to bits and pieces, but I think for the most part it's safe to say that it's autistic people looking for other autistic people we can relate to. And that means that though some of you might have found me and be like, oh yeah, she's like relatable enough, these people might be like 10 times more relatable, you know? You could gain something completely different from their content than you do mine. So I sort of just wanted to be like, these are the people that I've been watching and learning from and enjoying the content of myself. And I think you'll probably like them too. So I thought I'd just share like my favourite ones, like I said, with you today, that you know, like a little bit about them and why I like them. Hopefully I'll be sharing like a screenshot of them here somewhere so that you know who I'm talking about, and they will obviously be linked below. I'll probably tag them and stuff on like Twitter and Instagram if you want to find them somewhere. I'll be trying my best to make sure they're easy to find, you know. The most recent channel I found is Woodshed Theory, which is basically Claire's channel, and she does a bunch of videos. I think she does like 3 a week. She is like up on the content game, you know. Basically just about like autism and general life stuff she's up to, how she's feeling, some like hair stuff. You know, it's just a very, I don't want to say random because it feels curated, you know. It still feels like she really deeply cares about her content, and that's part of why I enjoy it. But it is a bit of like a random mixture of things where you just get like sort of a good insight into who she is as a person. And she comes across as just being like really authentic and honest and nice. Like she's just a nice person to watch. As I say, I've only recently found her, so I haven't like delved into the depths of her channel. But from what I've seen as of yet, I really, really enjoy it because obviously a lot of people upload exclusively about autism. And I get that, not everyone wants to share other parts of their life, not everyone is into this, you know, I get it. I'm not shitting on the people that exclusively share autism content. But personally, in a YouTuber, I like to get a little bit of their personality too sometimes, you know, and she's the perfect like mix of the two for me. I've also only very recently found the channel Adult with Autism, which is run by Paul. He's been doing numbered videos since I think like January time, and they're sort of like 20-ish minute long videos about various subjects revolving around autism as a rule, from what I've watched so far. And it's just very, he's what I was looking for, you know. Like, I did the wrong thing, I think, because I was very much looking for like a girl my age and she'll be into fashion and she'll be into this, but she'll also be autistic. And I was like looking for myself, thinking that was how you find relatability. But listening to him talk and the way that he's sort of like lived and the things he's been through, I'm like, dude, like if I had a beard, that could be me, you know? It's kind of weird, but it's also just very, I won't lie, I do sometimes put videos I've already watched on in the background because I think he sounds like Christopher Eccleston and I find it very soothing. But when I'm like actively actually watching videos, I just find that he's very vulnerable and genuine in a way that you don't see from a lot of people online, never mind from big beardy northern men, you know? And it's, you know, it's nice that he's a big beardy northern men. Is he multiple men or is he just a man? But they're the types of people that I'm around, you know. He reminds me of a lot of people that I know in real life. So it's just very nice to see someone that I feel used to, just talking about things that I can relate to and things that I've been through. And especially he's quite a bit older than me, so it feels like he's got all of this wisdom that I get to like obtain from his videos. And I just think he's a really cool, knowledgeable dude, essentially. I just think his videos are really, really interesting. They're almost like a podcast kind of format because he's got a really good mic. So you could just listen to it. I do sometimes just listen to it. And I just think he's brilliant, basically. It's the vulnerability aspect. He is very, very like he's not too open. You're not sat there like, oh, he's oversharing with me now. But he's open enough that you really get an idea of what he's talking about. And when you've been through similar things, it's very clear that you're not alone, and he felt very, very similar things. It's great detail and it's great relatability. It's just really knowledgeable, relatable, good quality content. And I like that he's numbered them all. I wish I'd done that from the start. Like, I'm not going to start it now because I would just be copying him. But I wish I'd done that. That was a good idea. Indie Andy is one that I think everyone's already watched if you're autistic, essentially. I'm pretty sure he was probably one of the first like autism people I ever found on YouTube after my diagnosis. I've watched probably nearly all of his videos, and they're just very, very useful. You know, he keeps things quite upbeat, he keeps things in quite a positive mood for the most part, but he's not afraid to delve into like the deeper topics and be genuine. I don't feel like he's as vulnerable as some other channels, but he also doesn't have to be. It's his channel to do what he wants, you know. And I think that his videos are still like really, really useful and helpful to the autistic community. And I think he does a really great job of like providing educational material for neurotypicals from an autistic perspective that they'll still be able to understand. You know, like his channel's almost one that like I don't adore the channel. I think he's great, you know, I'm not trying to shit on anyone at all here, but I think that his channel's almost more important for like the education aspect than it is for like me as an autistic person. And you know, there'll be loads of autistic people that completely disagree and have gained loads from it. That's why I'm sharing them. You might be one of those people that gain lots and lots of like internal knowledge or whatever from it. But I didn't personally find that. But I think that he's a great channel to send to like friends or family or whatever if you're doing a thing or have a thing that they don't understand related to your autism. He almost definitely has a video that you can find to send to them where they'll be like, oh, I get it now. So it's really useful for that, and I really appreciate making content for me. Like, my appreciation of his content is for that reason. But he's brilliant. There's a million reasons that someone might like him. And I might butcher her last name here because like I've watched most of her videos. I've heard her say it 100 times. Paige Layle? Paige Layle? Paige... her. Here. Link somewhere. Tagged a screenshot. I don't know. Paige. She was again one of the first like autism YouTubers that I found after my own diagnosis. And I'm pretty sure she was the first like female with autism that I found. And I just loved her content right off the bat. So much of it's, you know, relatable, which is what I was normally looking for and still am looking for a lot of the time. You know, and she was really comforting for me when I found her because it was a case of like, oh, there are girls out here. We can like be female and have long hair and do our makeup and whatever else and still be autistic, you know. It was very affirming. And I think that she's just really cool. I think her content's like, again, I feel like her content's almost more useful for like spreading awareness of autism and educating people about autism in the term of like neurotypicals. But she does have like I was going to say a handful, but it's definitely more than a handful. I'd probably say like a third of her videos I have found personally helpful, be it to like understand myself better, to be able to put like better accommodations in place for myself, you know, things like that. She feels very dedicated to her content, and I feel like she does really good research before making a video, you know. It feels like she knows what she's talking about. And I also found Ruby Woods around the same time, and she's not super active on YouTube. Like, I will link her YouTube and everything because I've spoken about it, it feels right. But I also follow her over on Instagram where she's much more active, and I absolutely adore her over there. Like Reels, is that what they are? I think they're TikTok videos that she puts onto Reels, I don't know. But they're brilliant, like they're so short, yet they get right to the point. And I just think she's another great content creator that's also autistic. Autistamatic I found a few months ago because we had a brief interaction on Twitter, and I've been loving those videos. They're all presented by Quinn, and he's just he's like a teacher almost, but like the good ones, you know, the interesting ones that you actually like having as a teacher. His videos are by far the best ones that I go to for like education. I don't feel so much like relatability from them, but they have like helped me figure out so much about who I am as a person and about my autism, and it's an incredible resource for autistic people and neurotypical people that are looking to learn more about autism. You know, like he's really doing the Lord's work over there. Like those videos are good quality, fucking good content, really great ideas, and really well just like laid out, easy to understand, easy to consume. They're great. Neurodivergent Rebel is also another person that I managed to find because of Twitter. They were the first person that I found that were talking about like autism, how it relates to gender and sexuality and things like that, which is something that I find really interesting because of my own issues with sexuality and gender. So I've really enjoyed watching their videos and like reading their thoughts about all of that. And again, they feel like they're just very dedicated to their channel and dedicated to like the autism community almost. They feel like they're just very passionate and creative, and just their content's really great. They're not afraid to talk about the topics that are likely to get them a little bit of hate. And, you know, like sometimes I'll see the shit that people are fucking tweeting to them and I'm like, I would never, you know? Like, they really do get a lot of unnecessary hate, and I don't think it's from the autistic community. But I don't want to go all into that. I'm trying to tell you about how much I like them and how they're one of my favourite channels. But I just think they're really, really great. I don't have many descriptive words, I'm sorry. I need to like buy a thesaurus, clearly. But it's just a really good channel. They seem like a really great person. I love the creativity, and I love that I haven't personally seen like any other autistic people talking in video form about like gender and sexuality and how that can affect where you are on those spectrums due to being on the autism spectrum. And I find it very interesting. And I think the more I understand about that, the more I'm going to understand about myself. So they've definitely helped me along with that. I'm very grateful to them. I'm recommending this back to someone out there because one of you people that watch me, apparently, I'm still weirded out by it. I can't believe people watch me. But one of you guys recommended Stepanie Bethany to me, and I love her content. She's another one that I feel like she puts herself a bit more like out there into the controversial topics that honestly I probably wouldn't touch, because like the hate and the like discussions and the arguments and everything that comes along with it terrifies me. But she does a real good job of putting it out in a way where, you know, she's expressed her opinion in a way that's very, very clear. And if people are shitting on it, that's kind of their own issue. I nearly always agree with her opinion. I think the things that she talks about are really important to like autistic people in the autism community, and I've found her deeply, deeply relatable with some of the things that she's spoken about. I don't know how I didn't find her earlier. I don't know why it took someone's recommendation for me to find her. I've basically been searching for her for like years, but I'm glad I found her. Like, she's just not afraid to speak her mind, and I love that. I really enjoy that about her. And it means that she's approached some really important topics. Like, I feel almost like, obviously no one's ever going to be a spokesperson for the whole autistic community because we're all so different. But for the issues that she's raising points on, I feel like she's the best person to be doing it, and she's doing a really good job of it. And, you know, the more we can support her in doing that, the better. And also she's done collaborations with some of like the other people in the autism community on YouTube, and they've been some of my favourite videos. I think that it's vitally important to us as a community that more of us do talk to each other and communicate with each other in like a public way, so that people can see that like all of us are different. I think that there's like such a base stereotype of like there's this person and that kind of person is autistic, and discussing things with each other with other autistic people really shows how different we can all be. So I really like that, and it's something I definitely want to do more on my channel, but I'm so scared of reaching out to people, and I don't really have that many ideas on what to do as a collaboration. And again, this is a last name that I'm going to completely butcher, and in my notes I can't actually fully read my own handwriting to even know what all the letters are. So I'm really sorry. I'm just calling her Sydney. Like I say, there should be hopefully a screenshot somewhere. There's definitely going to be a link. So I'm sorry. But Sydney's one of the channels that I found really, really recently. And it's another channel where I'm just like, why did I not find this sooner? Because she makes videos surrounding like autism stuff, as well as music and acting and vintage stuff. And you probably think like, wow, that sounds like just your kind of channel. And it fucking is. I love her channel. Her content's really great. She's a fantastic singer. All the vintage stuff that she does, like it's much more vintage than the vintage stuff I like, because obviously I'm really into like the 70s and 80s. And she goes for like more of like a Victorian 1920s. It's a further back vibe than I go for, but I love it for her. It's really cool. And her autism videos are so creative. You know, she gets into topics that like I really haven't seen anyone else talk about. Like, I think one of her most recent videos was about how Ariel and the Little Mermaid's actually like neurodivergent / autistic / not a neurotypical. And it's just content like that. And I'm like, who thinks of this stuff? Like, obviously Sydney does, but I'm glad someone out there is thinking of this content, you know. I think it's really enjoyable content that has like this little educational bit behind it. Sometimes the educational bit's more at the forefront. She's a good YouTuber. But, you know, it's just a very unique mixture of content that I really fucking enjoy. Like, it's every element of what I would want in a YouTuber. I really wish I'd found her sooner. I say I wish I'd found these people sooner, but I really don't think I'd have bothered making videos if I had. So it might be for the best, because I like the little community we got here. I've got a few people that comment on most of my videos and we have discussions, and it's really fucking nice. But I do wish that I'd found basically all of these people earlier. You know, it would have just saved me a lot of heartache and feeling like shit, essentially. There's obviously so many more autistic YouTubers out there, and especially when you like start delving onto TikTok and Instagram and everything, there's so many of us all making great content. There's no way that I can include everyone in one video. There's no way I can watch everyone, you know, there's lots of us. But if you have any recommendations of people I haven't mentioned, I would love to see them in the comments. I would like to follow even more autistic people that are making good content. And like I say, I really want to collaborate and stuff, so I am going to have to speak to people at some point. But yeah, these are my favourite YouTubers that I've like currently found. These are just the current YouTubers that I've been like really enjoying and actually have something to say about. And even then, for some of them, I didn't have an awful lot to say. Some of them I don't really fully know why I enjoy them so much. I just know that I do, you know? That's that. That's the video. This is me signing off. Whoever you are, whenever you are, wow, are y'all time travelers? I wish I fucking was. But whoever you are and wherever you are, I hope you have a nice old day, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time you're in. I hope you're having a good one. And I'll see you again in a few days. I'm just gonna be completely honest here. Paul, adult with autism, my absolute fave. Fucking absolute fave.